Tell me when you're ready. All good?
All good. Go ahead, Coach.
What a wild game. It was just one of those days in conference where, honestly, if you liked offense, probably it was a good one. Two teams obviously scored the ball at a really high rate, both halves. Defensively, from our standpoint, we were really searching for some answers for, I would say, 30 to 35 minutes. And we were able to muster up enough energy, I thought, from the last 5 or 10 minutes to at least try to create a little havoc out there in terms of making catches a little harder, having some more pressure around the rim. And, our offense has come back to life a little bit, and that saved us. We had a lot of different guys step up, which I'm proud of. We're obviously very fortunate to win the game in many regards. Davidson, outplayed us. They were fantastic today. Reed Bailey, it's been a long time since I've been on the court and seen a guy that physically dominant and also that skilled in terms of the way that they play. He makes things very difficult for the opposing team. 30 points, 11 assists, and 9 rebounds at the 5 position for them. I don't know very many centers that are going to do that, in college basketball. And then Durkin obviously is the known with the way he shoots it, and he was great. Those two guys went for 58 of their 90. We just had a really difficult time guarding them. You need some time, I think, to prepare your team, and I think we got our guys back to the dorm at 5 in the morning after our Chicago trip. I think it was 5 a.m. they rolled in, and we had 4 players available for practice for 2 days as we nursed the injuries back to life, and we're trying to get guys available for the game. We didn't practice very much, but I thought our guys kind of, from a game plan perspective, were able to get our offense moving the ball, sharing the ball. We're able to make some plays. We had some guys step up, which helped. And, the Ryan Center was great today. Our fans, we wouldn't have won the game without them. So it was a good college game. There was a lot of terrific players on the floor. I give Davidson credit. They very easily deserved or could have won the game. Like I tell our guys all the time, they don't really care how you do it, but did you win or lose? That's at the end of the day what was the question that was asked, and we were able to pull this one out. And, with what we're dealing with in the last 3.5 weeks, our guys mentally and physically have really been challenged. And I think we're struggling right now. There's a little wear and tear. We're deteriorating in certain areas with the amount of bodies that aren't available, and also just the ability level to have your team in a rhythm practicing and continuing to get better. We're deteriorating defense this week. It's a byproduct of no contact in practice. Offensively, we're spending time trying to work different lineups and different guys, so we're teaching and we're trying to, whatever, but we're deteriorating a little bit, and a lot of it isn't their fault. It's just what we're stacked up against from an injury standpoint has really prevented us from being able to work like a college team. And so gutted it out. We'll play our 3rd game in 6 days on Tuesday night, and we got to be ready to go for VCU because, I think right now they're probably, right at the top in terms of their team, their talent, and how they're playing right now. So we're going to have to be better on Tuesday night.
We'll open up to questions.
Archie, the last possession with Sebastian, were you maybe thinking timeout?
No. 5.8 seconds. Ball's on the run coming down the floor. That's your best advantage. Call timeout. I always say this team switches defenses. Next thing you know, it gets botched. But when you have a point guard who can go coast to coast 6 seconds, in 6 dribbles, he can get anywhere he wanted. He's having a magical run so far through 18 games. He really is. The guts that he has. The shot prior to that, he stepped up and took it. But what he's been able to do and deliver, I haven't seen it very often, a guy do what he's doing right now. But I'm proud of him because of the 10 assists, no turnovers. We've really started to talk to him 2 weeks ago about what we're struggling with as we entered conference play. And as you can tell, his assist numbers have skyrocketed over the last, 2.5 games. And we're starting to score better. We're starting to look more like we have in the past. Offensively, where multiple guys are able to make some baskets and score and whatnot. So, but he's doing it all. I mean, can't say whatever you want to say about him. You got to say about him. I mean, there isn't a better player in our league in terms of playing the position, or more important to their team, or more valuable to their team. I mean, he's been outstanding.
Plenty of guys want to take those shots. Not as many guys make as many as he has. Just
Yeah. Good point.
Physically, mentally, how has he put himself in position to do this?
He's fearless. And I guess you probably have to rewind and just look at the amount of volume he had a year ago as a player. I mean, he doesn't care if he misses. You know, I think the greatest compliment you can give players is like short-term memory loss. Nothing bothers him. He's not a little kid anymore like a freshman or sophomore where he's worried about making his, he could care less. And I think that's the way that he plays, and I think the supreme confidence that he has allows him, you miss it. Like, he took the one right before that as well. Like, he's going for the win. You know, he's got big guts right now.
Coach, due to injuries, a lot of different guys have sort of stepped up and played extended minutes in the previous couple of games. Today, closer to being fully healthy. How does those guys, role players, whatnot, getting those extended minutes help the team when you guys are closer to being fully healthy?
I mean, I think the best version of our team, obviously, I think we've seen different versions of it this year. And we've had a lot of things going on since we returned home from Christmas. And what's happened is you have a lot of guys out of position, or, you know, you're preparing to go to Loyola with only, you know, Quentin, and you're trying to teach your team how that group's going to work, and then he turns his ankle 3 minutes into the game. Thankfully, David sucked it up and said, hey, I'm going to give it a go, and got cleared to at least give us 10 to 12. But, like, I mean, he had to play more than 10 to 12 minutes in Chicago. We had 3 guards for the game, you know, basically. You come back off of that, and you prepare for this one. You have Q out, Jamarcus out, Tyone's out. Dave and David are both day-to-day. Not very many guys to practice. Like, I mean, there's nothing you can do other than watch some film and walk through and do some things. And but as I told these guys, as you battle these types of waves, ups and downs, injuries and whatnot, if you stay with it, good, bad, you just keep coming back every day, doing the right things, doing it the right way. If we can start to sprinkle in some good health, and, you know, Quentin's now in the mix a lot more. I think Ty's going to be out for a significant amount of time right now with his ankle. David's back. He's not 100%, but he's back. David's not 100%, but they're back. I think you start to see the depth, the physicality's there. And, you know, we didn't think that, we actually didn't plan on Quentin playing today. Q said after, you know, morning shoot around, which he didn't participate in, that he wanted to warm up and see how it felt, thinks he could help in an emergency situation or whatever. And after warm-ups, they said, yeah, he's good to go if you want to put him in. So we went into the game really realistically, not expecting even him to be available. So if we can go next 48 hours and head to VCU a little bit healthier, and hopefully over the next day and a half we can find a way to work a little bit, maybe we can put the best version of ourselves with the most rhythm that we've had. But we've lost our defense here this week. I personally believe that you have to have that good on good every day in practice. I know everybody doesn't like it, but if you don't have that good on good every day, you don't have that good on good competition in games. We haven't been good on good in a long time. You know, really the month of January has been really hard on us health-wise, but could care less. You know, I've always looked at guys with opportunity to play. They all want to play, you know, and I think when you have opportunity to step up and play, you can create your own niche. Q's done it. Cam was really good today for us. And that's what you need. I mean, a team, a true team of guys. So it's been hard, but I think it'll circle back for us, hopefully.
Any final questions?
All good?
I was just going to ask.
Yeah, Bill.
The way that you were able to take away Durkin and Bailey the last 13 minutes or so, they had 1 field goal combined in that stretch. Just what adjustment was made there?
Making catches harder. You know, if you're going to let them move the ball, you're basically going to look like a highlight film for their spring edition of their playbook. And that's what we were for 30 minutes of the game. We were a spring edition of this is what Davidson basketball looks like. We had to abandon a few concepts and just say, hey, look, the bottom line is every catch has to be a little harder. You have to make things a little bit more difficult in terms of denials. And if we give up a few back cuts or straight line drives to the rim, so be it. But they can't move the ball as freely. And I thought our guys were able to, it just didn't look as easy, in my opinion, the last 10 minutes. We weren't good all game, but trying to slow them down with just position-oriented defense and discipline, that wasn't going to work. I mean, we went 2-3 zone and felt bad for the inventor of the 2-3 zone. I mean, honestly, it's the worst 2-3 zone that's ever been in a game in the history of basketball. But we tried to answer your question. We really tried to be a little tighter on catches, and we just didn't want them to be able. Because really, at the end of the day, there wasn't any positioning needed. I mean, it was just the bottom line is they were moving the ball so fast. They were going to catch somebody out there, sleeping, napping behind. And, they're unique, though. When you can use Bailey to move the ball as a center, it's very difficult to pressure him. He's the quickest player that I've seen in the front court in a long time in terms of, face up, first step. He's a problem. And when you can just relieve all your pressure through your big, there's really not a whole lot you can do. So what we tried to do, later in the game was just he can't reverse it as easy. He can't make a simple pass as easy. Let's see if we can make him make more plays off the dribble. Maybe that worked, maybe it didn't. We won the game because of our offense, probably more so clearly than our defense. But I guess it was a fun game to watch. I'm happy as hell we won. So we'll see you guys.